pay-per-view did better? Was it Cold Day in Hell, or was it Take It or Leave It? Let's review both shows. Let's compare both shows. Let's compare the openers. The opener for Cold Day in Hell was the Interference taking on Red Madu. It was fiery hot. It was, hey, we're not gonna do this the normal way. We're gonna do this match by match. We're gonna see which matches won against each other, ladies and gentlemen. And Red Madu, I mean, he single-handedly made the Interference job at Cold Day in Hell. It was a fiery hot start to a new career that's going to exceed everybody's expectations.
Gonna thrive.
And what opened Take It or Leave It was Baskin Robin returning to fight Retrozerk. These are pretty comparable matches. Two guys, one guy debuting to take out Todi's biggest enemies, and one guy returning to take out the man that took him out and sent him to the Himalayas to return stronger than ever in his vintage red and black outfit. Which one of these was better to you guys?
I'd say having the Interference get his ass kicked was a little more satisfying. Not a little more. It was much more satisfying to me.
I gotta tell you guys that both of these matches open each respective pay-per-view perfectly.
Yeah, I agree.
And Red Madu versus Interference showed an electrifying debut by Red Madu, and I cannot forget it. But the return of Baskin Robin got me super excited too.
Me too. Baskin Robin, not only was the match, well, you're not done. Okay, keep going. But
I think Red Madu had to be a little bit better. I'm gonna say Red Madu versus Triple H.
Well, UWF just got a point, ladies and gentlemen. UWF got a point. I personally, to be honest, looking at these two, they were both super hot matches, but I mean, now that I think of it, Red Madu's debut was huge. It was the most exciting. I believe it was the most exciting opening to a show I've ever seen. That's the truth.
4-star match.
I wouldn't say that. It was just a jobber match. It was a 4-star moment. No, it was a 5-star moment. Are you kidding me? The entire thing was 5 stars. UWF wins by a landslide, but Baskin Robin, don't get it mistaken, only lost in my eyes by a little bit, because Baskin Robin, that was awesome, and he continued the butterfly pile driver on Retrozerk with the Doctor. It showed that he is back, but UWF
He's better than ever.
Just got a point. ABW is at 0 right now. So other matches we can compare are the tag team championship matches. That's right. We saw a triple threat tag team match tonight. Well, let's talk about the other one first. I'm discluding the first part of it where Lex Hannibal dropped out and the match went haywire. I'm talking about the match that had a result. The second match between the Syndicate and Insanity.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Lex Hannibal leaving, part of it.
And the match got restarted.
He was able to finish it.
And he
was
did.
Forced to finish it.
And they lost
because of that injury.
Yeah, the injury.
And despite his injury, he said "fuck it," and he went all out. Probably made his injury even worse, but he impressed me very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great, and the match was really good too. I'm not gonna take anything away from the match, but then we look at Opie and Nama, 3FF, and All Baron, literally just whooping each other's ass in a literal war. And really anyone could have won that, but Opie, Smith, and Nama. Opie tapped out the boner with a submission I've never seen really execute that way before.
Yeah.
And
Joey
Opie Smith, the story of Opie, Smith, and Nama and Jay Vice continued with that match, and I think because they both had an incredible story where Lex Hannibal Lex Hannibal knew that if he continued the match, it would have broke. The Syndicate were breaking them down. They kept fighting. It was a huge match. It was great. But the Syndicate took advantage of the injury. The only reason why they may have lost. But the Opie Smith and Nama story, I mean, hell,
That's the only outcome of that match.
It was great. That's
The
the only
possible
outcome that's the only outcome that makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So who did better? Which tag team match was the better one of the two?
Joey.
I gotta go with what do you call Opie Smith and
Just Opie and Nama.
Tornado tag.
Just
The triple threat
yeah,
tornado tag.
the triple threat. I think it was very entertaining, especially since All American Baron was just like going hog during that thing, like way more than he's ever gone.
These two matches are very incomparable because one was entertainment and one was like just pro wrestling. But you got to pick one, and whichever one made you more excited is the one you have to choose for. All right, ABW for you. What about you?
So I believe I said that the Lex Hannibal match was my favorite match on Cold Day in Hell, and I don't know if that's still the case, but I do remember it was awesome, and it had very good storytelling things, and it had a disappointing ending because I wanted to see my guys win, but of course Syndicate had to win at the end, but it's still very good. But the tornado tag is a completely different thing, and it was more entertainment. It's a lot of just fun, whooping ass. It was fun to see me and Bowie have a glimmer of hope of us winning the tag team. Ultimately, we didn't get it, but that's okay because it furthered the story of Opie Smith and Nama and Jay Vice.
All champions now.
All champions now, and it was perfect. I think that match was even better.
The triple threat wins for you?
Triple threat tornado tag wins for me.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree because although the Insanity and Syndicate match was calculated, good story for Lex Hannibal, it doesn't beat the Opie and Nama, the powerhouse story of both brands, in my opinion. It's the best story going. That's why it needed 20 minutes. Not even their match, but just 20 minutes of just the review of everything that went down ever since the beginning. And to be honest with you, the triple threat for me wins too. It was entertaining. Just thinking about the fact that anybody could have won it was really fun. It was just more chaotic. It was full of war. It was more entertaining. It definitely would have survived like a streaming service when it comes to just being an entertaining match. So much high flying, so much story, so much chaos. Everyone talking over each other and shit. I liked it. I liked the experience more. So for the tag team match, ABW gets a point. So now they're tied. I don't know what other matches can be compared right now. I'll compare Dable and the Gambler to me versus the three guys. So what it was they're both very short matches where Dable and the Gambler, Dable has come back to take back his gimmick. It's gimmick infringement, and he single-handedly beat the Gambler in quick time in a perfect way to get the Gambler out of here. And then what my match did, the 1-on-3, is the count out. Although, I got knocked on the stairs and shit. It's a good story going forward because it means it's not done. And it's good. The Gambler and Dable story is basically over right there. There is no more Gambler versus Dable. So comparing the two, what do you guys think? What do you guys think it was a better experience and match overall?
I'd have to go with the Gambler.
Really?
Yeah, are you fucking kidding me? That thing was awesome.
I agree. It was pretty good. I liked. As much as I hate to admit it, I like Angelo's match more.
Really?
Because not just because I like to see him lose to three huge dudes,
It's a good joke.
but just because it was very. It's furthering our story, most definitely. I think it's leading towards a darker direction now that you lost. Your turn.
Oh man, I mean, like I said, the Dabo Len match that we saw was literally perfect. It was absolutely perfect, and I couldn't think of a better way for that match to go. Dabo Len takes back his gimmick. It's over. Dabo Len's the new guy that takes things from people. My match continues the story in a good way for me and 3FF. This isn't biased. I'm gonna have to say Dabo Len and the Gambler wins this one for me, actually. It actually does, because it was just a good, like, fuck you, done. 1, 2, 3. My count out, it was just like, hell, that match should have just been, if anything, they should have just beaten me. That would have been a better ending. Because that's how it should end. A count out, although it furthers the story of me saying I didn't lose by a pinfall there, therefore I'm still undefeated by these guys. Although that happens, I would have rather taken a loss. The story would have been more entertaining that way. Now it's just kind of dragging on a little bit. But Dabo Len and Gamblers ended right there. Oh, it's just as it had to be. It didn't have too much attention to it. It's just two guys ending it right there.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. So, for me, that's UWF. So, did UWF get the win? Absolutely. It's 2-1 right now. Those are two matches we compared. What other matches did we compare? Can we compare? So we got Archangel and the Machine. I will compare Archangel and the Machine to Blu-ray versus a Toyota. Now, this is actually a pretty hard one if you think about it, because these were two long matches. These were two intense matches for different reasons. The reason Archangels and the Machines was intense is because it was so close. Like, the Machine almost had it. Archangel almost had it. Archangel got it. Blu-ray and a Toyota was intense because we saw Blu-ray just like blocking everything. Just a big boulder, and he chopped him once. He cheated and used brass knuckles, and it looked like it was a secret, which means this match really didn't have any disqualification, like no DQ. It was just a complete cheat for a Toyota, another screw job in AEW. So you can compare these two because they're both pretty lengthy. One's like 13 minutes, one's like 15 minutes. It's pretty comparable.
Should have been 30 minutes, but
should have been. Who knows? Maybe down the line something will happen. Maybe not.
I don't know.
So, what did you guys think was the better match between these two? Archangel and the Machine, which was actually my favorite of Cold Day in Hell. My top-rated match of Cold Day in Hell was that.
Oh, really?
Yes, that match was really good. Really good shit. Blu-ray versus a Toyota, 15-minute Iron Man match. It's the timed beating. So what did you guys think was the better one? I'll start with you, Joe.
I think Archangel versus the Machine was better because the thing about the Atoya match is, like, Atoya, it felt like so out of character that, like, he didn't get anything done at all. Like, maybe I'm phrasing that weird, but
He didn't get any pins.
he didn't get any pins. Like, that is not the Atoya I know. It was
I think he was
more
I think he was
disappointing than entertaining for me.
completely thrown off by this fat kid.
I think the shock of Blu-ray and a Toyota was fascinating. I think it was really good, actually.
Yes.
I'll take what you said and shove it up your ass. I think the shock factor of that bout is what's gonna make me remember it for a long time. So, just saying. But you have
I
your
really
opinion.
wasn't expecting that. I just when I said when I predicted that Blu-ray would win, I knew that he was. I had a feeling he wasn't gonna win. But here we are.
Well, it's your turn to pick.
I was right, and I didn't want to be right. I pick Blu-ray Natoya.
Blue Natoya's yours?
Yeah, it's just listen, man. At first, this Blu-ray guy, I was not on board with him. I thought he was just a joke, but he just beat a Toyota.
Yeah.
He just beat a Toyota.
Toyota was a joke, and it took 10 weeks for him to become a star, and he just ended all of that momentum tonight.
Right. Maybe
Really-
we'll see the same thing with Blu-ray. I don't know.
Maybe we'll have to.
But listen, as much as I think, I agree with you guys that Archangel versus the Machine was good. I just gotta give it to the ABW for Blu-ray Natoya because it was just so shocking, and that's why it was so entertaining for me.
Now,
Oh.
I would say that Archangel and the Machine was better, but I'm looking at this in the long term. You see, because here's how Archangel and the Machine got together. It was the anonymous booker liked what the Machine did and just put him in a match with Archangel, and it was a great contest to see who was the tougher bastard. And that's why I liked it so much, because of how it was built up in such a short time. But Blu-ray Natoya was built up for 10 weeks. And the reason I like that more is because it's long-term. It's Blu-ray cutting promos every single week. A Toyota ignoring them every single week almost. Sometimes he addresses them, sometimes he didn't. He got momentum. He won a Mayhem Rumble. He got a title match during these promos. He was gaining star power, making this match feel more or less like a comedic joke to an actual thing that you're excited for, and that's what I appreciate most about how it spanned out. The videos from Blu-ray, we never got to see him in person. A Toyota star power forming in 10 weeks. I appreciated that more. And what I said was the shock factor of that match was awesome, although it was like, holy shit. It was sad. So what? It's good. It's good to have good emotion in wrestling. So I'm giving it because of just all of the circumstances. Everything that happened, Blu-ray and Toyota get it. If this match happened like 2 weeks after 2 Blu-ray promos, and I compared these two, Machine and Archangel would have easily won in terms of how the match went. Still, Blu-ray and Toyota's match was really good because of the shock factor. But it wins because of the long term that caused this to be so shocking. So, 2-2 right now. They're both tied. What other matches can I compare? Chris Shawn and Recto Plantagenet compared to Dudley versus Goo. Loser leaves ABW in a TLC match. What are you guys' opinion on these?
This is close. I feel like.
Yeah, me too.
Say it one more time, just so I know.
Chris Shawn
Right
Chris Shawn versus Recto Plantagenet. It's the match where Recto kicked him in the head from the apron and pinned him. And
Yeah.
at the end, they tried doing the handshake, but Chris Shawn slapped his hand out of the way and walked away.
Right.
And then
The most fair match.
And he abused the coach later. But
Yeah, he gave Coach a black eye.
Dudley and Goo is
What was the other
basically Dudley and Goo.
Oh,
Loser
Dudley
leaves
and Goo.
ABW. Yeah.
I guess Recto, because the thing about the Dudley and Goo match is like Dudley talked all this shit and acted as if this was gonna be a massive deal or something, and then he ended up being a total moron during the thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't really give us a show. He kind of just showed up and then got his
Yeah,
ass
he-
kicked.
he
Got off
embarrassed
AEW.
himself.
So I think that goes to Recto because that was built up and had a purpose behind it. That Dud match just fucking happened. No fight was really put up by Dud.
I agree. I wouldn't say I was disappointed by it. I was just thrown off, but about how fucking short it was and how stupid Dud was acting. And yeah, I'm gonna give it to Christian Recta because that's also been a story that I've been more invested in. Dud is just gonna leave. Dud's out.
Absolutely.
The story of Goo continues without Dud.
Absolutely. Goo's still in ABW, and he got a big win in a ladder match. Now, here's how I'm going to view it. Okay. Chris Sean and Recto was built up for 5 weeks. Their
Right.
season's beatings match, the countout was good. The promos since were good. Coach Mission being a bastard was good. The talk backstage was good. Them interfering in each other's matches, trying to stop them from even becoming stars was good. And the match result was good because we saw Chris Sean get a concussion from a huge kick from the outside, which totally leaves more way for this to continue. Goo and Dud's feud was 10 weeks in the making. It was 10 weeks in the making. Goo and Dud, Goo beat him once, twice, 3 times. Dud lost all of those. Goo's really the only competitor that Dud's ever faced, which makes, you can call Dud a loser because of that. But Dud's never really faced anybody else ever, so we wouldn't really know that for sure. He beat Altar Ego, and that's like the only guy he's ever beaten that's not Goo.
That's right.
So, is Dud buried? No. Is he out of the company? Yes. He's buried from ABW, but his career, it's not buried. He's just not better than Goo. Now, talking away from that, the matches, Chris Sean and Recta was better because it was a match, and Chris Sean went ham in that match. He flip-flopped every fucking where. He did every goddamn move ever, and Recta just bounced him, just threw him around. It was a great clash of different wrestling techniques, and I appreciated that. Dudley and Goo, I appreciate that match because it's a good send-off for Dudley. It's not too long, it's entertaining, and it's short. Goo, they had both good moments. Dudley gave him like a power bomb or something. He stopped Goo once. They had a great sequence on the ladder where they punched each other many, many times for like a minute and a half. And then Goo did the incredible dive off the ladder, which is fucking crazy that the ring didn't break, but it didn't. To be honest with you, in terms of, I'm gonna give it to Goo and Dud, just in terms of how it ends. Their whole feud lasted 10 weeks, and Dudley's out. Goo completely just showed him he's the better man after Dudley ruined Goo's debut nearly at the wild card. I think Goo and Dud was the better story, and I think the match they had was a spectacle. Christian and Recto had a wrestling match, and I appreciated the way it executed. Dudley was tired because he got dived onto, he got powerbombed onto, and he didn't have the momentum or strength to run and save him. Goo got the briefcase. Goo's the smarter man. Goo's the better man. I'm giving that point to ABW, but UWF wins because you two voted for Christian and Recto.
I still agree with Joe.
Yes, it's perfectly fine. Let's compare the mid-card title matches. We saw Original Ron versus The Job, which was just a very normal, not too intense, nothing too incredible mid-card title match. If they had the match they had on Mayhem 2 weeks ago, this would have been harder to choose. But then you had Rob Admiral versus Rebel Kid, which is a Syndicate Civil War for the Badass title.
Yeah, that was nuts.
You don't even have to really talk about this unless you really enjoyed Original Ron and The Job, which sure I like.
It was alright.
It was just very average.
Yes. And the story was nothing too much. Original Ron just did some spooky shit, and then nothing happened tonight, so whatever. Joey, what are your takes on what your favorite mid-card title match was from both shows?
My favorite mid-card, so like any of the
U.S.
matches.
No, the
Just
U.S.
between those
title.
two.
The U.S.
Between
title
those.
versus the Badass title match. Original Ron versus The Job. Rob Admiral versus Rebel Kid.
Fucking Rob Admiral versus Rebel Kid. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. All right. The way you think.
I agree. That was pretty cool.
UWF gets the point. I'll agree too. I agree too. There's nothing, no competition. The Job and Original Ron did like an average TV match. No competition. That's it.
Yeah, it's like WCW 1996 mid card match.
Yeah, I agree. Now it's for the championship matches, which are both pretty similar in terms of length and everything. We had Awesome Marco versus Quick Draw, which Quick Draw was the new champion, and we had Jay Vice versus Mr. Sonic.
Oh God!
Jay Vice is the new champion. What are your guys' thoughts?
Actually, there's more to talk about. But just like,
We're talking about against Quick Draw and
Awesome Marco versus Quick Draw, and then Mr. Sonic versus Jay Vice. What's the comparison?
focus, Joey.
No, I know it's kind
Come
of hard
on!
to choose actually
This
because
is the verdict.
This is a damn verdict.
I'm a cookie.
I kind of wish the Jay Vice match was a little longer. It didn't really feels like a Punk just got his ass handed to
I
him.
agree with that.
Like, I guess it just kind of shows that Mr. Sonic was just like all bark no bite.
Yeah, that's a flaw.
He beat a Toyota for the title.
He did,
Good defense.
but now we know that Toyota easily
Toyota
lost.
to Blu-ray.
Yeah, so like
We're starting
with
to
the Quick Draw
understand the
match.
power rank.
I'd say the Quick Draw match because it was cool to see Quick Draw like become like a big deal all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was a shock match. I'm gonna. So you're gonna give it to
Yeah.
Quick Draw?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to fucking Jay Vice, because you gotta hand it for all the storytelling here. There's all the fucking build up that promo did.
Makes a match. Like the build-up makes a match. It really does. If Mr. Sonic versus Jay Vice happened, like think about it. Mr. Sonic versus Jay Vice at the World Championship tournament. Although it was longer and it was still intense, this was more, this is a bigger deal now.
Yeah, it was a bigger deal, and also it just shows how far Jay Vice. And I the Quick Draw match was pretty good. I like that Quick Draw
That's great.
predicted how he'd win the match.
He did. He did. He said, "I'm gonna take your ass, flip your dick inside it, pile drive you right on your head," and he did.
Yeah, and it was a shock. I didn't think he'd win, and I also said I was also thinking this is the main event, seriously, and but I thought it was good still.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great highlight of the show.
So
But, take it or leave it. Jay Vice versus Mr. Sonic gets it for me.
now here's my comparison. I look at Quick Draw and Awesome Marco, and I see how it began was Awesome Marco wanted new competition after beating the Syndicate, two of the biggest members of the Syndicate in one match, Falcon and the Interference. He wanted new competition. He gave his respect to Falcon. Quick Draw came out, made a joke of himself, really, but he with that joke came the prediction of the main event of their biggest pay-per-view, and one of my favorite shows I've ever done. Now,
Right.
and it was a great story because Awesome Marco's like, "You're nothing. You're nothing. You really are nothing." Quick Draw's like, "No, I'm something, man. Trust me. I am definitely more than I look, and I'm trying, damn it." And that's a good story. I mean, it's a guy you wouldn't expect that from a guy that looks like that, right? And through the weeks of all that stuff, and they had a fight, which caused fans to turn on Awesome Marco a little bit, but the full heel turn happened the Tuesday before the pay-per-view.
Oh, the
Awesome
heel turn
Marco.
was great.
Awesome Marco and Archangel had a great match where Awesome Marco literally kept doing his finisher again and again and again and again and again, and Archangel kept kicking out again and again and again and again, and then eventually he caught him, won. Shocker, he pulls out a chair and nearly beats Archangel to death. Sure, Archangel isn't happy about that. Quick Draw grabs it, and he's like, "I'm gonna get you this Saturday." And none of us really expected him to win, but we wanted him to win, and he did. And it was shocking, and it was great to see Awesome Marco give it to Quick Draw, although I thought Austin Marco maybe retaining was the better solution to see a heel run. But I'm still very happy with the way the results came in.
Yeah.
But Jay Vice and Mr. Sonic has literally been the thing since the beginning. Since the tournament, since the finals match, since he won the Guaranteed Chance briefcase on the same night. He didn't show up for 5 weeks. Then he showed up when Castro Finch gave Jay Vice the screw job and beat him easily. 2 big losses, making Jay look like a loser, making him look terrible every week. Playing mind games with him, nearly costing him his friendship with Opie Smith. And all of that bullshit, all that stress, all that shit that just happened, it was a great ending for both parties. Opie Smith and Nama got the tag titles. Jay Vice showed this motherfucker that he's not just a jobber, he's not a loser. He's the best in the world. And he beat Mr. Sonic. He retained his title. Mr. Sonic was wrong. Mr. Sonic caused a lot of grief, and it was more satisfying to see Jay Vice finally be back on top. So I'm giving it to Jay and Mr. Sonic. The match was more emotional. The match had my heart.
I wish it was a
pumping
little
more.
longer.
Yeah, that's fine. I think the shocking short thing made Jay just bounce back. He's back. That's what it was supposed to do. He's fucking back. And I appreciated that. So,
yeah.
Giving it to ABW. Well, before I unveil the results, I would like you guys to rate UWF Cold Bay of Hell once again. I think it was given like a 9.25 or something.
Oh yeah, it was a good pay-per-view. Like, none of the matches we've seen in both pay-per-views were bad. Nothing was shit. Everything was pretty entertaining.
So once again, after a week of it happening, what would you give Cold Day in Hell out of 10? Out of 10.
Another highlight we did not mention was that weird-ass street fight between Dave Glory.
That did not happen at the pay-per-view. That was the.
Oh, that was fucking.
That was like my birthday, brother.
Oh shit, never mind. Sorry.
What would you give Cold Day in Hell out of 10?
I'd give it
I'd give it a 9.25.
a 9.
I would give it a 9.5. It was my favorite show I've ever done. So
Really?
9.25.
it's a 9.25 again. It's pretty much. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it was. So now, if you gave Take It or Leave It a rating, what would you give it?
9.25 again.
Really? That's tied?
Yeah, really.
I prefer this. I give it a 9.5.
I prefer Cold Day in Hell by a slight margin, 9.25. And that means
That means that
ABW won
ABW won.
by 0.8. Take It or Leave It beat Cold Day in Hell by 0.8, but if we dissected it match by match, UWF won 4-3. So if you look at it in if we look at it in the ratings, like the full show, how you felt about it in the end, ABW was better. If you looked at how the matches were dissected, UWF won. So they were both, I think, pretty like fucking equal in terms of just like incredible.
Pretty awesome ass shows.
Yeah, and I have no idea what the other 2 shows will be like. I honestly don't know, but I'm going to announce them right now what the names are. Because UWF's next big pay-per-view is called Tonight. Or it's Tomorrow. Does not matter tonight. AKA TDMT. And ABW's
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Dumbass Mutant Okay, listen. And ABW's next big pay-per-view is called Rivals, baby.
Rival.
Damn
These are
right.
just 2 funny ass names.
No. And in the middle of that, we are going to see 2 mini pay-per-views on TV once again in the middle. And those TV pay-per-views for ABW, it will be called the Chicago Classic, taking place in Chicago, where the first inaugural ABW Rumble 30-man will happen to see who faces Jay Vice at Rivals for the World Championship.
Chicago's got the best crowd.
And UWF is going to have a mini TV pay-per-view called The Chamber, where they will fight in the Elimination Chamber match to see who faces the world champion at Rivals. Take it easy, ladies and gentlemen. These pay-per-views pretty much equaled out. Incredible shit. But ABW won the rating, UWF won the match dissection, whatever. I'm not gonna tell you a winner. It's really up to you. So, have a good night. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you on Tuesday for another great week, a great night
Yeah.
of great shows. Take it easy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Toyout should have won.